This is CNN Breaking News.
We're here in Sutherland Springs, Texas, and we have Wilson County Sheriff Joe Tackett Jr. Sir, thank you for being with us.
Sir.
Thank you for your patience of waiting for the technical difficulties. One of the menacing questions here is, why would this murderer come to this beautiful little place and do this? You have some information that gives you a sense of motive.
Well, we know that his ex-in-laws or in-laws came to church here from time to time. They were not here yesterday, so we don't know why he actually showed up yesterday. But we know that when he left destruction. There was 26 people dead, or 25 here, and one died at the hospital. Approximately 20 people in the hospital. My understanding right now, most of them are all stable, and we're hoping that they all pull through this. And, you know, we've got the families here that are going to pull together, help each other, and then we're going to do whatever we need to do to also help them.
This is a job that works on a lot of levels. To a person, people say, you know, the sheriff is a source of strength for us. We know he has his arms around us in this community. And they have a little bit of an idea of what you had to deal with yesterday and into last night.
Yeah.
And we were talking, I know you haven't been able to get any rest yet. How can people understand what it is that you all have to deal with what happened in the church?
We took oaths, you know, and that's part of our oath, is to help the people, and we're going to do whatever we have to at this point.
You've been in the business a long time.
Yes.
Not to date you, but would you have ever imagined that you would have to walk into a church
Never.
in that situation?
Never in my wildest dreams.
What do you tell yourself? What do you tell your men?
You know, I haven't had a chance to really talk to all of them that were here yesterday, because a lot of them were off, but they came out when they heard about it. They got dressed and they came out to help. And we're a small department, and so we've got to help each other.
What's been the hardest part for you in dealing with this emotionally so far?
The children, you know, it's always the hardest. It's whenever there's children involved.
It's hard to know what somebody finds in their heart to knowingly take out kids.
That's true. I mean, you know, the man went through there, or the creature, whatever you want to call him, went through there firing, you know, an assault rifle, and took no mercy on anyone that was there.
I don't know that you even want this kind of evidence, but that church did put services online. We were able to see what the inside of the church looks like, and to see the passion of the congregation there. Was it put on video? Is that something that would be helpful to you? Is that something that you know of?
There was very little on video yesterday. Very little, for some reason.
Do you see that as almost a blessing in this situation? I mean, there's not going to be a trial. The guy's gone.
Yeah, the guy's gone. There won't be a trial. You know, do you want a trial? Do you want the person? In a situation like this, I don't think so. I think the people that were in the church, the people, the citizens here, the people around the world, they don't want to see somebody like that to live, you know, after they have done what they did. So, you know, it's just a terrible situation all the way around. I mean, you know, there was a lot of, well, they were all good people that were there in the church. We know that. But a lot of family members that, you know, were lost. And, you know, it's tough. I mean, I know there's one family that there's 6 or 7. And that's going to be something that's really hard for them to deal with. I mean, but they're good Christians.
Well, they're going to be tested now.
They are.
I mean, the family that runs this church, they lost their little girl. We've been showing her a picture this morning so people can understand what was taken.
Right.
They weren't here.
No.
But what, you know, I mean, tell us about them as a family and what you know of them.
Well, the pastor's been here for several years. I mean, he works with his congregation. He plays with his congregation. And he's just a good all-around person. So, you know, why, you know, you have to deal with a situation like this, we don't know.
The man who came in to sub for him, or you know, the equivalent, lost his life yesterday.
You know, could have happened any other day. He wouldn't have been here. But, you know, yesterday was the day that was chosen for it to happen.
And obviously, this was no random act. This man knows what Sunday means to a congregation.
Sure.
He knows where people are going to be, especially in a small town.
It's a small town.
If you want to find a concentration of humanity, you go to a church in Texas on Sunday, and he knew that.
Yeah.
What do you say to the man who stepped up when he heard the gunshots?
I say he's a hero.
I don't think there's any question about that.
You know, had he not done what he did, we could have lost more people.
Because it's not known that this was over in the mind of the murderer.
Very true.
Just because he exited. Who knows? There were other weapons in the vehicle, you believe, yes?
There were other weapons, my understanding. I mean, even though he dropped the one, I mean, you know, there's another church a couple of miles down the road. He could have stopped there. Who knows?
You have to deal with the immediate, still processing the scene. You've got to be able to give families some closure. How important is that? I mean, we were talking when the power went out. My heart sunk when you guys were slow with a count coming out of it, because I knew what that meant about processing the scene. How important it is for you to try to help these families. I know what kind of questions they're asking you, and I know you can't answer.
We're going to give them all the support we can. You know, first we have to deal with what's over here at the scene yet, and then we're going to be here for the families.
How long do you think it'll take before people can put people to rest?
It's going to be a good while.
It's just too. Well, listen,
too early right now.
We don't know. We know why that is.
Yeah.
That's your job. One of the jobs that come out of this, and you spoke to this when you were cautioning people to be sensitive here, is what can we do? What can we do? President weighed in. He's in Asia.
Right.
But he weighed in. He understands the significance of this. I think we all do now at this point. Can't believe how much of this we see these days. The president says, I think we're looking at a mental health problem at the highest order. As a lawman, do you think that that's where we go? You know, is mental health and what we do about mental health, or do you think it's just an act of evil and there's nothing you can do?
Well, there's a lot of mental health issues. We know that. And we just wish there was more help for these people.
Is that on us? Do you think that's on, is there a lesson that, I mean, you can't make these people come back.
No.
You know, you can't fix what happened here.
You can't fix what's broke like that.
But in your experience and now what you're living through, do you think we need to look at it and figure out there's got to be something so that you don't wind up with the same set of ingredients that leads to evil?
It needs to be looked at more. And we need more places to put these people to try to help them.
There's a sensitivity issue that comes up that I respect and I understand, but not completely, which is don't talk about it now. Give them their time, give them their time. But as you know, because you're one of them now, Sheriff, nobody wants answers more than you guys do.
Sure.
Because you don't want anybody else to ever have to look at what you had to look at, and these families to feel it. But we'll hear that from lawmakers who don't want to take it on because it's too hard, Sheriff.
Right.
Because they can't give a nice quick fix.
True.
But you think that give the respect to the dead, give the respect to the families, and take it on. Right. Figure out what you can do, if anything.
We'll do whatever we need to do here, you know.
And the leaders, you want the same out of leadership?
We want that also.
Well, Sheriff, look, I wish there was something that anybody could do to make your job easier, but I do hope you understand how your community respects and appreciates what you've been doing for them here.
We're going to continue.
All right, thank you, Sheriff.
Okay,
and thank you for taking the time.
Yes, sir.
God bless. All right, so there's the sheriff. He gave you updates in terms of, you know, this picture of motive. Why would a man come to a church on a Sunday? Now there is this information that his in-laws, this is their church. They weren't there, but this is where they would have been on most Sundays. Now, coming up, you heard the last part of that conversation with the sheriff. What do you do? Well, what can we do? What should we do? What must we do? Those are questions for the Texas governor, Greg Abbott, and he's going to be with us right after the break.